So today we're going to be talking about Skype, which is a platform that you can use to video call. We'll explain to you what video call actually is for those of you who don't know. And we'll go over just some of the basic, the typical applications that we use in order to do video calling on your phone and on your computer. And today, of course, we'll specifically be talking about Skype, so we'll go into more detail as to how you can sign up and get the application link so that you could use it even today if you want. Okay, so video calling is similar to a phone call, except now that we have cameras on a lot of devices, maybe too many, we can see each other like we haven't been able to through doing just a phone call. It's a great way to catch up when you can't physically, maybe because of social isolation or because of the distance. I use it a lot to call my grandma when she's in Romania, which is over on the other side of the ocean. So it helps me feel a little bit connected when there's a lot of distance between us. So yeah, some of the benefits are that you don't have to travel at all. You can stay in the comfort of your home and speak to someone while seeing them. You can also speak to more than one person, so you can have a group video call similar to how you could do it on a phone, but again, you can see each other through video. Now, some of the difficulties that you might experience with video calling is that you will have this poor connection screen pop up, and everything will go blank and blurry and quiet for a little while. But normally after just a couple of seconds, it starts to run smoothly. So maybe sometimes just having a bit of extra patience, it will get you through that awkward little moment of being cut out from your loved ones. Again, the audio quality can also be poor alongside with the video quality because it's just a much more demanding thing that you're asking your internet to keep up with. But in my opinion, the pros of video calling are very great. Just maybe need to have a bit of patience and have a good stable internet connection to get this phone call done. So there are multiple different platforms that you can use. Last week we really covered Google Hangouts, and this week we're looking at Skype. So in general, Google Hangouts, Google Duo, Skype, Zoom, which is what we're on right now, FaceTime, and WhatsApp. So just to briefly go over all of them, for Google Duo, we can have a maximum of 12 people on this at once for video calling, and you'll be limited to about 25 minutes per the video call. But it does work on both Android and Apple devices, so it is a pretty good option to use. And then we have FaceTime, where you can have more participants than in a Google Duo. And there is actually no time limit for these video calls. However, you can only use it from an Apple to Apple device. So since I have an iPhone, I can call someone else who has an iPhone or a Mac, and we can connect that way. But if the other person does not have an Apple product, then FaceTime would not be a good option in that case. Another program we can use is called WhatsApp. You can use it also for texting, but it does have a video calling option. It does have a time limit of 1 hour, and 10 people can be on a video call at the same time, but it does work on both Apple and Android devices. And then Zoom, which is what we're on, has a much greater capacity to have 100 participants on at once, which is why we use this service, because there are many people who are checking in and learning about these great technology advances that we have nowadays. However, there's a 40-minute time limit if you have the free version of Zoom video calling. But again, like some of the other options, you can use it on either an Apple or an Android device, and it will work well. And then I believe the second last one that we are going to talk about is Google Hangouts, which can have 10 participants on at once. There is also no time limit for using this, and it does work well for both Android and Apple devices. And the final one that we're going to cover in depth today is actually Skype, which you have a pretty good number of people on at the same time, which is 50 participants. And you can talk for 10 hours, I believe that says. I'm getting cut out because I have everyone's pictures over here on the side, but you can read that on your screen. And apparently has 100 hours per month, which is a lot of time, and it will work both on Apple and Android devices. So as you can tell, there are quite a number of different platforms that you can use to video call and connect with someone. It basically just depends on who you want to talk to and what they have, so you could communicate and both agree or both agree to download this application or find out which ones you both already have, and then you would just go forward that way. So now we're going to start talking more about downloading Skype specifically and how to get you using this. So first you have to download the application just like every other application you would use to video call. You would look it up on your phone, your tablet, or your computer in the App Store for either of those devices that you have. And or you could go to skype.com, and that link that we have there posted up on the screen for you if you're just looking on the internet page. So once you're on the website, you would click Get Skype, which is a big blue button with red font, and you would download it for your specific the program, the software that you're using on your desktop. So in order to get into Skype, we're gonna have to create an account after we download the app. It will take to a screen like this one that you're seeing on the right side of your computer or your phone, where it's asking you first to sign in, but since we don't have an account yet, we are going to go just below that to where it says no account, create one, and we're gonna hit on create one, and it will take us to a couple more steps to entering our information so we can create an account to log in with. So after clicking create one, it's going to ask us either for our phone number or email address. You can choose which one you want to use. By default, it asks you to put in its phone number. However, you can click just under it to where it says use your email address instead, and then you can enter your email address. So after you've done that, you would click next, and you would enter in some more personal information such as your name, and after that, after it knows who you are, it will either send you your verification code to confirm that yes, that email belongs to you, or yes, that phone number belongs to you. And so when you get verification code, you have to go back to this page. So don't close it. You'll go back to this page and you'll enter in the code that they have provided you with. It might be a bunch of numbers or letters, just a mashup of things. So you would just copy that and enter it here. Now there may be a couple steps after this process that are pretty simple. But after you do all of this, you will be able to use Skype the same day. So after we've created our account by getting our verification code from either our email or our phone, we would be able to then sign in with the account that we've just created. Keep in mind whether you've used the phone number or the email, and you'll enter that correct information there. As always, with having a big number of passwords that we have nowadays for all sorts of different accounts, it might be helpful to just store this password somewhere safely, maybe close around your computer. Like, we shouldn't store our password, so that you can have it safe and always accessible in case you forget it. However, I know that sometimes we forget or we misspell our password. So there is always a way, as with basically any password, to log into your account again. You would just have to click the forgot your password. That's just a side tip. Right now we're creating our account. That's just a side tip if you've already tried to use this and you just forgot your password. You can still use your account. You would just have to go and click that button which says forgotten your password. Okay, so going on to actually using Skype after we've been able to log in, we want to create new contacts by adding people who we know. And we're going to do this by going to the contacts button and clicking add people. It will be on the upper left side of the screen, and then we click plus contacts. So once we hit that button, we're gonna have a new directory appear where we can reach people using their full names, the email addresses which they use to create their Skype account, or what's called their Skype name. So once we search this person up, you might have to maybe try a few different searches if you don't know exactly what that person's username or how to find them. But once you do find them, you would just click add them to your contacts. And again, make sure that you're adding the right person because some people have very common names. It's just like Facebook, you'd want to add the correct person who you actually want to talk to. So we covered up till now creating an account, adding someone, really gonna want to call someone. So in order to do that, we are going to our contacts, and there's going to be a little symbol or like a little colorful symbol that appears to show which one of our contacts is online. It's actually pretty similar to Facebook in that respect. You can see who's available to talk to. And if you can see this little box on your screen, a little green check mark would mean that the person is online, that you can speak to them, they're available. Someone can also change their status to a little minus, which appears in red. That means do not disturb. You might be busy, you might be cooking, or you might be in the washroom, I don't know. But you could hit do not disturb. Or again, if you're in the washroom, you can also hit away from keyboard. So you're on, but you're gonna come back in a second. And then there's also a green check mark with a white background, which means that you're offline, but someone can leave you a voicemail. And then just a blank gray and white X would mean that you are online. So these are just different symbols that will show you whether a person is online or offline. So you can choose and see who's available to talk to. So if you want to call someone and it says that they're available to talk to, so they have that little green dot with check mark, you can click on them. And then you'll have this new chat window pop up, and you can select whether you do video call them, voice call them, or chat with them. This will be on parts of the screen. We have that listed here on our PowerPoint with the letters A for video calling, B for voice calling, and to just chat with them and type in a message. So buttons for doing different things. If you make a mistake, then you can just end the call if you want to just text them. But yeah, you'll get the hang of it after a little while with where the buttons are. So when you're actually on a Skype call, you'll be able to see the person after you've connected, after your internet connection has established that you're both there. And you'll see a picture of them. You'll see their name up here in the top corner, top left corner. And your image will also appear as a smaller version on your screen, so you can kind of see what you look like, make sure your hair is nice, and you'll also see them. So when you're on a video call, like we said earlier, you can add multiple people. I believe we set it up to 10 people. I'm not, if I'm wrong, someone please correct me. But we can add a bunch more people by hitting it looks like a little person symbol with a plus. It would be at the top of our screen. And we can add whoever we want to, family, friends, and we'll all be on a video call together, just like we are now. Except everyone's talking, not just me. And we can also find a little button to continue chatting while we're on the video call. It would be at the bottom of our screen. It appears like a little box, a comment box with 2 lines on it. So that means that you can send little messages through there. If we would want to share our screen, it appears like 2 boxes, one in front of the other. And I guess we could go and just look at different things on our phone and other see that instead of seeing us through our phone's camera. We can also send what's called a reaction, kind of like a little emojicon, by clicking that little button at the bottom of the screen. So when we're on a Skype call, apart from texting and letting other people see our screens and adding little emotions, we can also do a bunch of other things, such as record the actual video conversation that we're having. So if it's a really special moment or someone's showing you how to cook something and you want to always have that there, you could you can also take what's called a snapshot, which is a quick little a picture of your screen. So if you see, like when my grandma's smiling and laughing, I like to take a little snapshot of her. I don't know, it's just a cute little memory that I will have with me. And you can do a bunch of other things. One thing that's pretty cool with Skype is that you can actually turn subtitles on. So if you might not be able to hear what the other playing very clearly, maybe Skype can pick it up through its algorithms and it will appear like subtitles, kind of like on a movie. You can all choose different background effects like we have in Zoom here. And you can do other things such as turn off incoming video, so no one else can see you, I guess. You can hold the call, which is just like you could on a typical phone, and you can also change different audio and video settings through this option. So the way that you actually get here, which I have to explain, is just by clicking the 3 dots that appear on your screen. When you're actually seeing someone, you will see those 3 dots in the bottom corner. So the phone, the screen that you see when you're actually on a Skype call with someone or trying to get on one, it appears very similar to other video calling options. So we are going to have 3 dots in the bottom corner, which gives us options of things to do. The plus, the person with a plus, means that we are adding people to the call. We can record the call, like I was saying before. Our screen would actually be recorded, so we can save that conversation and watch it over again if we want to. We can react in the call, and you can share your screen. So the buttons that you would see when you are trying to someone would be to start and stop your video, which is just the little video camera button that's in the middle. And then if you want to not be heard for a little while, you would just press mute. You just press the microphone button, which will mute you. Don't forget to press it again if you want to be heard. And if you want to let go and hang up, you just press the red button with the phone facing down. So as we discussed earlier, you can change your status to let people know whether you're available to talk right now or you're not. You would your name, which appears in the top left corner, or your initial, and that drop down menu that will have a where it says status, and you can change your different options to from active to away, do not disturb, and invisible, where no one can see you're on, but you're on. And like we mentioned before, it's always a good idea to sign out of any account that you sign into, just for your own safety. And so no one else can get a hold of your phone and start calling people. But you would click again on that same drop down menu that you used to change your status. And you would just hit the sign out button, and it will ask you whether you're sure that this is what you want to do. Actually, sorry, it will ask you whether you want your application or the device you are using a Skype on to remember your account, which is what kind of Jean was asking about before. Whether we feel comfortable in allowing the application to remember our information, we could hit yes or no. That's a personal preference, but you have those two options. I know it's a lot of information, but video calling in today's day and age, especially when we're supposed to keep physical distance, can make us feel much more connected